Welcome to This Explainer. If you're tuning in right now, hey, congratulations are definitely in order. Seriously, you survived one of the most grueling, unexpected, and completely out-of-syllabus written tests we've seen in a really long time for the Federal Investigation Agency. You fought through all that confusion, you made the cut for roles like sub-inspector, ASI, constable, or constable driver, and now you're standing right at the threshold of the final stage. So today, we're going to break down exactly how you need to prepare for your FII interview using some of the best, most direct insights from top interview prep guides. So let's take a quick look at our roadmap for today. We're going to cover 1. Beyond the written exam. 2. The perfect first impression. 3. Facing the interview panel. 4. Know your agency. And finally, number 5. The ultimate question. All right, Section 1, Beyond the Written Exam. First things first, let's address the elephant in the room and shift our focus entirely to what's coming up next. There is a massive, stark contrast between what you just went through and what you're about to face. Think about it. That computer-based test was notoriously tough. You had 80 really complex marks to clear in just 60 minutes, and it was packed with heavy reading comprehension, high-level IQ questions, and completely out-of-syllabus general knowledge. Honestly, a lot of candidates felt like passing it came down to pure luck. But the interview phase? It's fundamentally different. This part is highly controllable. It's entirely based on your preparation and driven by your personality. You are officially back in the driver's seat. The crucial thing to remember here is that 50 marks was the magic threshold. Getting over that minimum 50-mark hurdle to get shortlisted, that was the hard part. The unpredictability is totally behind you now. So it's time to build some unshakable confidence for this next phase, because right here, preparation easily beats luck. Moving on to Section 2, the perfect first impression. Let's talk about how to channel that confidence into the absolute most critical, zero memorization part of this whole process, your physical appearance. For the guys out there, your appearance is literally the very first thing the panel is going to judge before you even open your mouth. So if you're comfortable in Western wear, go for a navy blue or gray two-piece suit. Pair that up with an egg white or a light blue shirt. For your tie, you want navy, maroon, or dark gray. Try to stick to subtle lines or checks and avoid anything super flashy. Now, if traditional wear is more your speed, a crisp white or cream shalwar kameez paired with a dark black waistcoat looks incredibly professional. Your shoes absolutely must be formal, black Oxford shoes with laces. Please, no casual slip-ons. And finally, just make sure your leather belt perfectly matches your formal leather watch and your shoes. Harmony is the name of the game here. Now, for our female candidates, the goal is sensible, highly professional attire. You really want to pull inspiration from standard leadership dress codes. Go for a plain, solid-colored shalwar kameez in a really dignified color. Think white, navy, or gray. An optional black waistcoat can actually add a fantastic touch of authority, too. Keep your dupatta or hijab incredibly neat and simple. Stick to closed-toe flat shoes or very low heels, and just keep your makeup extremely light and natural. You have to remember why all of this matters. You are applying to join a highly serious law enforcement agency. You're not going to a family wedding, so avoid those fatal fashion mistakes. No heavy, echoing heels that make you sound 4 feet taller when you walk in. Absolutely no bright, bridal red dresses, no flashy or clinking jewelry, and definitely skip the informal chain watches. You want to keep your look neat, grounded, and intensely professional.
Okay, picture this. You're about to walk into the room. Usually there are going to be 3 or 4 panelists waiting for you in there. You need to follow these 3 exact steps. Gently open the door. Confidently ask for permission to enter. Offer a polite general salam to the whole panel, and walk over to your chair. Do not sit down until they offer it to you. When they do, sit down calmly and just wait to be addressed. Believe me, your body language in those first few seconds speaks absolute volumes about your discipline.
All right, Section 3, Facing the Interview Panel. You are officially in the hot seat. Let's figure out how to navigate those very first questions they're going to throw at you to test your nerves.
You're going to get the standard introductory questions, but whatever you do, do not take them lightly. They'll ask you to introduce yourself, walk through your education, and they will definitely probe into why you chose your specific degree. They might ask for your favorite subject and your CGPA. But the most important takeaway here is that last point. You absolutely must be prepared to connect your specific university degree directly to the FIA's mission. If you studied IT, great. Connect it to cybercrime. If your background is in finance, connect it to anti-money laundering. Your main goal here is to keep the panel talking about your strong subjects. Keep them on your home turf.
But look, inevitably, they are going to test your boundaries. They're going to ask some random general knowledge question that you simply do not know. And when that happens, just respectfully say, "Sorry, sir." That's it. Remember, this isn't a CSS-level exam for top-tier bureaucratic positions. This is a grade 5 to 14 interview. The panel doesn't expect you to know everything in the universe. What they actually want to see is if you can handle not knowing something without panicking, or much worse, trying to bluff your way through it.
Moving into Section 4, Know Your Agency. Once those personal questions are out of the way, the panel is going to pivot. They want to see if you actually know anything about the organization you're claiming you want to join. So, let's build up that foundational technical knowledge.
Every single candidate has to memorize these basic facts. For instance, knowing that the current Director General is Mr. Rivkar, that's just basic respect for the agency. You also have to be able to explain that the FIA is a federal agency. Unlike the local provincial police that handles everyday street crime, the FIA has specialized independent wings to target really sophisticated, cross-border, and federal-level threats. You should be able to instantly list off their key wings: cybercrime, anti-corruption, immigration, and human trafficking.
Now, here is a highly likely, high-stakes technical question that will absolutely test your global awareness. What is the FIA's exact role in the FATF? Interviewers absolutely love throwing this curveball because it proves whether or not you actually understand Pakistan's standing on the global stage. If they ask this, you can confidently explain that the FATF, the Financial Action Task Force, is an intergovernmental organization that was set up in 1989 to combat terrorist financing and money laundering globally. But then you bring it right back to the agency. Explain that the FII's economic wing plays a totally critical role in controlling national smuggling and terror financing, and that work directly helps keep Pakistan off the FATF's gray list. Nailing that answer shows deep structural awareness.
Also, keep in mind you are joining a law enforcement agency, so demonstrating a basic foundational awareness of the legal code is really going to set you apart. Look, you don't need a law degree, but knowing that a major offense like murder falls under Section 302 of the Penal Code or zina under Section 376, that just shows the panel you are already thinking with a law enforcement mindset.
And that brings us to Section 5, the ultimate question. This is the climax of our explainer, and frankly, the absolute peak of your interview. Everything you do leads right up to this make or break moment.
Why do you want to join the FIA? Every single candidate is going to face some variation of this question. The panel is testing your psychological readiness and what your true motivations actually are. The absolute worst thing you could possibly do here is give a desperate answer. Don't say, "I just really need a secure government job," or, "Well, I'm currently unemployed." They are looking for dedication, not desperation.
Instead, you want to use this brilliantly structured core argument based on our sources. You want to frame the FIA as a top-notch agency operating under the Interior Ministry. Highlight that it's fighting the most sophisticated crimes out there: cybercrime, corruption, human trafficking, and that it operates with incredible transparency without those heavy stains of corruption that unfortunately plague other departments.
Let's break down exactly how you should structure that final answer. Start by showing respect for its federal status under the Interior Ministry. Next, talk about the noble cause, actually fighting those internal national threats that weaken the country from the inside out. Then, pivot back to yourself. Mention your own personal discipline, your commitment to accountability, and your deep desire to build a clean, long-term career inside an agency that is literally known for its strict internal transparency. That proves you aren't just looking for a paycheck, You're looking for a purpose.
As we start to wrap this up, I want to give you a highly practical tip for those final few days leading up to your interview. Keep your daily focus sharp by watching the 9 p.m. news headlines every single night. The panel is very likely to test your awareness of current affairs, whether that's the current global dynamic between France, Iran, and the USA, or just local economic policies. You really need to show up as an informed citizen.
So as you go iron your suit, practice that introduction, and lock in your agency facts, I want to leave you with one final provocative question. Are you truly ready to enforce the law? You have already passed the hardest, most unpredictable part of this entire journey. The rest of this, it is entirely in your hands. Walk into that room with discipline, clarity, and purpose, and claim your seat. Best of luck on your interview.